If you're trying to find ideas for the next SaaS that is going to make you financially independent, you're not alone. The world is filled with opportunities and problems to solve. But when you sit down and try to think about a good idea to work for, your mind either goes blank or finds all the reasons why your idea is just not good enough. You find different ideas, but then you see that they all already have solutions. How do you figure out what to do? Well, look no further, this video is for you. In this video, I will give you 3 proven practical tactics to find a SaaS idea that can get you all the way up to 7 figures and give you the financial stability that you've been looking for. Let's get to it. Tactic number 1 is go vertical. Instead of finding an idea that doesn't exist and creating it, you can look at existing generalized solutions and think about how you can take them and narrow them down to a specific vertical. But what is vertical SaaS? Let's start by defining what horizontal SaaS is. Horizontal SaaS is a generalized product. This is something that fits different industries, different verticals. It usually has a bigger potential customer pool, and the market for it is usually more established. Vertical SaaS, on the other hand, that is the same product created for a specific industry, for a specific case, a specific vertical. With vertical SaaS, the market is usually smaller and maybe a little less established, but also less competitive, which makes it a little easier to succeed in it. You might be thinking, why would I go and limit myself for a smaller market? I do want you to remember that a smaller market could be millions of people or millions of businesses. It doesn't mean tiny. If it's a tiny little market that doesn't have a lot of potential, maybe it's not the right market to build for. But let me give you an example that would convince you. Have you ever heard of Salesforce? They're considered the biggest help desk solution currently, with a market share of a whopping 27.90% of the global market share. And in 2023, they reached a $31.35 billion in revenue. That is a huge business, right? A huge product. How do you fight with such a huge giant? Well, by creating a vertical SaaS. Now let's talk about a smaller version of Salesforce, Gorgias. Gorgias is an e-commerce specific help desk solution, and it's considered one of the biggest in the industry, if not the biggest. It integrates with all the big e-commerce platforms like Shopify and Wix, WooCommerce, etc. Gorgias is significantly smaller than Salesforce, with a really small little $6.3 million in revenue in 2023. I would say for most of us, a product that makes over $6 million annually is something that is life-changing. So even though it is smaller than Salesforce, the fact that it is narrowed down and niched down allowed the founders of Gorgias to, instead of trying to find a completely new solution and, finding the next big idea, they took what Salesforce did and said, okay, let's narrow it down. What do e-commerce businesses need specifically? Let's give them this solution. And giving them what they specifically needed is what allowed them to grow so much in this industry. So to find ideas, you can do exactly what Gorgias did. Go and look for the big solutions out there, the one who dominate their markets, and see if there are specific niches that you can build such products for. Niching these things down can be a whole new idea of its own, because instead of just giving all the features, you are focusing on a specific set of features that this specific niche and industry need, build for that, and then slowly you can add on top of that. And as a side note, niching down can also be local markets. Are there specific languages or things that are maybe local in your area that don't have good solutions for? Because this is a great opportunity as well. Think about it. Tactic number 2 is what I like to call piggybacking. Just like a little child piggybacks on their father's back to get to places faster, you can do the same thing with bigger SaaS products. In the example of Salesforce, maybe instead of building a Salesforce for a specific niche, I can build on top of Salesforce. These large products that dominate whole markets, they are usually big enough that their customers have things that they need that the product just can't develop quickly enough. And maybe it's so specific for a specific group of customers that the big company doesn't really bother building for them. So instead, what they do is they open up marketplaces where you can put your own product on top of. And then, instead of finding an idea from scratch, you build on top of something that's already existing by looking at what their existing customers want, are asking for, are missing, etc. It's called micro SaaS, and if you're a viewer of this channel, you know about it. You've heard us talk about it countless times as a really good business model to start with when you are new to SaaS and to startups. But how does it help you find new ideas? You look at their marketplace to see what is in there and what is missing. What solutions are already in the marketplace but you can improve on. What What features do their competitors have that they maybe don't, that you can create for their customers as a micro SaaS? And if you go to the places where their customers hang out online, whatever it is, forums, Discord, or the marketplace, what are they complaining about? What are they missing? What do they need? Another cool thing is that a lot of these big products have public roadmaps or public websites where you can ask for features. You can go find these feature request places and look at feature requests that are not even in the roadmap. They would usually be marked as something that is planned to do or they're thinking about, and some of these things are just like way out there. They're not even thinking about doing it yet. So you can look at them and see the ones with the most upvotes and decide to go and build it for their customers instead of making their customers wait until they get there. Going back to our first example of Gorgias, they actually did this too. They didn't only go vertical from what Salesforce is doing, they also created a micro SaaS. And I don't know what platform they started from, but I would say it's safe to say Shopify. Shopify is the biggest e-commerce solution platform out there, and Gorgias have different integrations with each one of the big e-commerce platforms. So they can put their app on the Shopify App Store, on the WooCommerce App Store, on the Wix App Store, and they turn themselves into a micro SaaS, and that helps them get more discoverability. So they combined going vertical, looking at an existing solution and finding an industry that needs it, with going micro SaaS by looking at big solutions in this industry and figuring out what these big solutions were missing. Guys, before I move on to the last tactic, if you are enjoying this video and if you feel like you're getting value from it, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up so I know and YouTube knows that you like this video, and also subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now let's continue. And tactic number 3 is AI. And that really shouldn't come as a surprise. AI is a new technology and everyone wants to tap into it. The problem is that with every new technology there's a boom. And this boom is basically the situation where so many solutions built on top of that technology, they just appear. And a lot of them are good, but a lot of them are repetition of existing solutions. Usually what would happen is that people who are looking to tap into this new technology would look into AI, in this case, and say, okay, I want to build something for AI, but I'm just a beginner. Let me figure out something super simple to do. And they all come to the same conclusions. So the same 3 to 5 different solutions are the easiest to do in this technology, and they just appear everywhere. How do you avoid that? How do you actually look at AI and find good solutions? Well, I do have some ideas for you. The first thing I would go for is look for existing solutions, just like we did in the other 2 tactics. Look at existing solutions and think about how could AI improve that? What AI can I create that would improve this solution? For example, customer support. Not that I'm saying you should necessarily go and build a customer support AI tool, because I do know that there's a lot out there, so do your research. But this is a really good opportunity to take the crown off of Gorgias or Salesforce if you're quicker than them and manage to penetrate the market. Create an AI solution that either sits on top of one of these products or replaces them completely. Now, maybe replacing something that is so established that has been in the market for years now is a little ambitious to begin with. But if you find a way to solve a real problem that they can't just yet, then you might have a winning idea here. It's relatively easy to find these solutions because throughout our daily lives, we do so many things and we use so many products. You can just sit down one day and write down all of the different products that you use that day, or maybe that week. List them down and try to think for each one of them, what could AI do instead of what I have to right now manually do? How can AI help me improve what I'm already doing with these products? By the end of the week, you should have at least 10 ideas for AI products, and then you can start researching them and figure out which one of them is actually viable and which one of them actually solves a need that's wider than just something that I personally do. But if you're still not sure, just ask AI. I'm serious. Ask AI for AI ideas. I just did that today and I have a whole video coming up showing you exactly how I did it. It's gonna be linked somewhere here if it's out already. Let me know in the comments, are you planning to build your own SaaS or startup product? And how did you come up with your idea? Give some inspiration for the rest of us in the comments, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.